Hello everyone, and welcome to another Facebook Live here at Arizona Science Center. My name is Josh, and I will be guiding today's Facebook Live. We're going to give it just 1 or 2 minutes for people to join, but if you can see what I have in front of me, go ahead and guess what we will be doing today. Again, for more activities like what we are covering today, you can always check out all of our online resources at arizonasciencecenter.org, or you can check out our YouTube channel to see all the really fun Facebook demonstrations we've done in the past, as well as lots of other interactive videos. So, first of all, can you all hear me okay? Okay, awesome. All right, so today we are talking about energy, and we are talking about systems that transfer energy. So a really easy way that is really fun and engaging to do this outside is by making our very own solar oven. So for today's demonstration, you're going to need a box or something with a lid. Good, make sure that was empty. And then you are going to need tape. I'm using 2 popsicle sticks to prop it open at the end. You can use sticks from outside, you can use pencils, wooden skewers, anything like that. You're going to need your objects to experiment with and melt outside. I am putting mine on a paper plate because I don't want to damage the solar oven I've worked so hard on. You need something to cut. I have a box cutter as well as scissors, and I have aluminum foil and saran wrap. Are you all ready to get started? Awesome, let's do it. So, I have a ruler because I have a hard time with motor skills. The first thing you're going to want to do is essentially draw a U shape that is about 1 inch from each of the sides. So I'm going to take my ruler to connect the lines that I made ahead of time. And you are doing this on the lid of your box. So, if you have a box and are doing this ahead of time, pizza boxes work very, very well. Shoe boxes work really well. Honestly, any box with a lid, you can make it work. But the reason why we need the lid is so that we can make a flap on top and kind of create this 2-tier system while still entering the bottom. So your first step is you need something that looks like this. This is going to be the outline of where I'm going to cut. If you notice, it's not a complete square because I left this back. We're going to cut open a flap that is going to lift up. So let's go ahead and do that now. Again, if you are one of our younger friends watching, thank you so much for joining in. We hope you enjoyed today's science experiment and the science activities we do every Monday through Friday at 12:30. However, if you need some help, there is no problem. Please make sure you have adult supervision or some adult help if you are going to be cutting the top out. So as you can see, I'm just cutting to the best of my ability along the lines that I drew. And now I've cut my beautiful flap up like this. Oh, hello. And again, the type of material you use for the box is something to keep in mind, but you want a box with a lid so that you can lift up the flap and still lift up the other section. Okay, so we have our first step done. We've cut our flap. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take aluminum foil. Why are we using aluminum foil in our solar oven? If we take a moment to notice the properties of aluminum foil, just ignore my weird little dance. I have no idea why I did that, but I hope you enjoyed it. If we take our aluminum foil, I'm going to wrap it around the inside of my flap. Why do you think I'm going to do that for our solar oven? Do we have any guesses? Not yet, okay. So, before I give you all the answer, I'm going to remind you of what we were talking about. We were talking about systems that transfer energy. So solar means sun, and the sun gives us 2 primary things. What are those 2 primary things that we get from the sun? The 2 primary things that we get from the sun are light and heat. So I'm using the aluminum foil. What do we notice about the aluminum foil? It's very reflective. Good job. It is very reflective. So this is going to reflect a lot of the sun's light into the box when we're done with it. So we have our aluminum foil, beautifully taped. That's going to help us reflect light. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to lift up the lid, right? This is my flap covered with aluminum foil. This is my lid with the hole cut out. And we're going to take our cling wrap, or your saran wrap, your plastic wrap, whatever you're doing. And we're going to wrap plastic wrap around the lid. Well, carefully, because it likes to stick together. But if you make a mistake, that's okay, right? We learn the most by making mistakes. Why do you think I'm putting plastic wrap just like this? You can see the hole that I've covered is now covered, the hole that I've cut is now covered in plastic wrap. Why do you all think that I'm doing that? If this was for the light from the sun, what do you think the plastic wrap will do? Any guesses so far? It's going to help us trap in our heat. So, because we get light, and the sun's light, as we know, because we live in the desert and it is hot, comes with a lot of heat. The more light we can reflect into the box using our aluminum foil, the hotter our solar oven is going to get. Another way to get more light is to create a heat sink, right? So black, right? If you've ever worn black in the summer, you know that black absorbs a lot of light, and it is very, very hot. I'm going to cut these flaps out of the way really quickly. There's one. There's the other one. And I'm going to use our black paper down at the bottom to create a bit of a heat sink. The more time and energy you put into laying down a flat black paper, right? As you can see, I've got all of this open space up here. Oh, hello. I've got all this open space here. So I'm going to tape down my black paper, and I'm going to try and get as much heat trapped down. What are some other ways that I could improve my design? What do you all think? Could I add more black paper to cover the empty space? If I added more black paper to the bottom, what would that do? If I added more black paper, what would that do? Well, that would trap more heat, right? Another way that I could continue to improve this super awesome, beautiful solar oven design is I could line the walls with more aluminum foil to continually direct and reflect as much light into the center. But I really want to get to melting things, so the objects I've chosen to melt for today are marshmallows and some crayons. I'm not going to be eating them, don't worry. I know what happens when you melt crayons next to marshmallows, but I appreciate the concern. So I'm going to put this in here, and the last step before it's ready to go outside is, as you can see, we kind of need to create a little bit more structure. So I'm going to put my items inside, close the lid, and I'm going to take one popsicle stick and some tape, and I'm going to make sure that this stays open by taping it and propping up the sides. Just like that. So one thing you may want to consider is whether you should use a larger stick or a smaller stick, right? What is going to help you prop open your solar oven the best? And we're taking the second popsicle stick, taping it to the sides of my solar oven, and then taping the sides up to prop it to make sure that it stays open. And we have our very own do-it-yourself solar oven to test. Feel free to make your own solar oven. Some of you have done some really incredible things. Feel free to tag us, comment below, show us your solar oven, which is helping us take the sunlight that we get and transfer that into heat energy to melt different snacks and different crayons and things inside. If you liked today's activity, first of all, thank you so much for joining. Second of all, please feel free to find more activities like this at connect@arizonascience.org. Thank you all so much for joining, and have a wonderful rest of your day.